पादमौलिपर्यन्तां गुरूणामाकृतिं स्मरति न विघ्नप्रणश्यन्ति सिद्धन्ति च मनोरथः लक्ष्मीं तनोतु नितरामितरानपीक्षमङ्घ्रिद्वयं निगमशाकिशिखाप्रवालं हैरम्बमम्बुरुहडम्बरचौर्यनिग्रं विघ्नाद्रिभेदशतधारधुरन्धरन् सर्वेषां स्वागतं. This is the Saṃskāra session for the 31st shloka. So, we actually looked at the first two lines of the shloka, and we know the newest concept is Adhyaropa. Adhyaropa I've talked about in previously different sessions as well with regard to Vedanta Sara probably. Here, particularly Adhyaropa, what do we mean by that? Where the explanation is Kosheshvayanteshu tu tattadakritihi. Now, because of being inside the kosha, ayam, kosheshvayam, kosheshu ayam. Because of being inside, because of the presence of Atma within the framework of the Panchakoshas, it is it is inheriting this akriti, tattat akritihi. It is projecting vibhati due to the sanga, sangat spatikopalo yatha. So that is what is the shloka. So then we have to ask question, what is this phenomenon? What is this we are seeing? It is called as Adhyaropa. So Adhyaropa is a uh, term used to the superimposition of the quality of one particular one aspect of one particular thing getting imposed on some other reflecting thing. They are not related to each other. Um, they may not be related to each other, but due to the proximity, due to their similar act, very specifically because they look like each other, or they have an attribute of projecting something of each other. They have that attribute like mirror or glass or anything like that. Because of that, what is happening is the attribute of one is being seen as the attribute of the other. The classic example for this is the moon itself. Moon has no light of its own, but when it shares it takes the light from the sun. But when we see it in the night, we actually feel that the moon itself is glowing. So this is Adhyaropa. So here we actually done Adhyaropa before, but this Adhyaropa actually is very clearly mentioned over here, where we get misled. Where we get misled, we are supposed to understand the true nature of the self. Here, because of this Adhyaropa, we are not able to do that. That realization is not possible. And what are the what are the types of Adhyaropa that we are able to see? There are three kinds of Adhyaropa: superimposition of attributes of one on the other. What is that? That is Swarupa Adhyaropa, due to the quality of looking similar, like doppelgangers or anything like that. That misled. Like uh, Sarpa and Rajja. Sarpa and Rajja. Rajja means rope, and Sarpa is a snake, because they have the similar akritis. They look the quality of being something similar, Swarupa. Because of that, they get mixed up, attributing a quality to something that is already present in it. That is what is, see, Swarupa Adhyaropa means the Swarupa is already present in both of them. That means both of them look similarly. Therefore, that it is getting misled, misinterpreted. Rajjaha is getting misinterpreted as Sarpa. Okay. Tattva Adhyaropa. Tattva Adhyaropa is when one particular thing doesn't have that characteristic at all. But because of that proximity, because of that particular nature, like Sannidhi, because they are coming close together, it is reflecting the attribute of some other thing as its own. So this is when the particular thing doesn't have that attribute at all. This is the moon that I'm talking about. Moon is not illuminating. Moon doesn't have the ability to glow on its own. Because it is coming in between earth and sun, and the sunlight is being projected through the moon, what is happening is we find that the moon itself looks like it is glowing. Therefore, we misinterpret it as attribute on its own, that moon also glows. But that is not the case. And the next one is aropa adhyaropa. Aropa adhyaropa means attributing a quality to something that is completely unrelated to it. That means when we say sentences like the room is silent, we talked about Jahati and Ajahati Lakshmana. No? So the room is silent. Obviously, the room cannot be silent. Room is a non-living thing. How can it have that ability to be silent and be noisy? It doesn't. We are trying to say something else. We are trying to say that the people inside the room are not are silent. But when we say room is silent, we are associating the room with something, some attribute which it cannot project at all, which it can never inherit that. This is called as aropa adhyaropa. So these are the three kinds of adhyaropa that we see usually in the self getting it is because it has similar quality, something that it already has. Like for example, guna, the sukha dukha, the anubhava that we are taking, that is there within the atma, and it is facilitated through the sharira. Therefore both of them have equal right on that. So that is one thing. And then second one, when we are talking about how the atma tends to seem like it is enjoying, that it is dependent on the vyasanas of the sharira. That is one. And then where we are saying that atma is actually restricted by the sorrows or sufferings or etc etc. So these are the three kinds of adhyaropa where the self is getting inflicted by or getting influenced by, thinking that this is happening to me, but it is not actually happening to me. To the self, though, it is not happening. So this is the important one. So how is it important? See, whenever we are talking about realization, self-realization, we need to understand the true nature of self. And therefore, we need to understand this concept so that we can get rid of it or move past it. So for that, we have something called as apohana. So that is the process of removing or negating a quality or attribute. That means we are trying to separate the attribute and then the thing, and then try and see if those two can exist without each other. If they can, then they are not the true one, because they don't have samavaya sambandha. Samavaya sambandha is there, then we cannot separate it. Like Gandhavati Prithvi, we cannot separate Gandha and Prithvi. They will always be together only. So when I separate the Prakasha and then the Chandra, Indu, so what happens is I know that they are separate. They are not, it is not the attribute of the moon at all. So this process, then we have Vivarta, that is the process of changing or transforming one to another. When we say water has the form of this glass, I pour it into another glass. It takes the form of another. So the form is not Nitya, that is, form is not staying as it is. So I know that it is not the true nature of that particular glass of water. Glass, as it is taking the nature of the glass. Now, again, the glass, whatever it is, that akriti remains same of that glass, not of the water. So I know that that attribute, that is the akriti, is related to the glass, not of the water. Then we have vritti. That is, vritti is to mentally recognize the difference. That is perception, mental perception, cognition of the difference, the separation, because I cannot literally show it. I cannot literally show the separation of the akriti and that is the attribute and the thing. How am I supposed to do it? I am supposed to realize the difference. And the only way my mind listens to this kind of realization is when I lead my mind to it through logic. Therefore, these processes are there to understand that there is adhyaropa of the panchakoshas on the Atma, and then we are supposed to use these methods to take it away or to eliminate it. So, this is the concept that is from the ancient scriptures, adhyaropa. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः प्रतिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि।